Anyway, wide receivers, man. I had talked about this battle the other day, and it feels like it's Jalen Tolbert right now, wide receiver 3. We're talking about, right? Yeah. And then everybody else is competing. So when I look at what I'm watching for, obviously I'm looking for Tolbert to keep the foot on the gas, right? Yeah. I want to see Tolbert continue that. But then you talk about at the beginning of camp, Tyler Billy Johnson was the reserve guy making all the waves, right? And now it's Jalen Cropper who is stacking all these days. And I think those two guys are probably looking at each other sideways like, all right, dog, I know we probably fighting for this last spot on the roster. And Cropper, no matter where he's at, he continues to make plays. So honestly, I feel like Tolbert's secure. Maybe make a couple catches, cool. But my eyes are on the rest of those guys. Brooks, Cropper, Tyron. There's a big opportunity for Flournoy. He really needs to get some momentum. That's kind of where I'm looking at with this wide receiver group. What say you, Voch?
Sky, Bones Fossil say that we're going to be doing a whole bunch of fun, cool, return man stuff. I say, all right, man, I feel you. Like at the same time, like two return men out there at the same time.
Right. The new kickoff rule.
So, Turpin's going to be the main guy for sure, but like your second return man is Deuce or Jalen Cropper. Like Jordan Lewis ain't a return man no more. We're long past those days, right? So it's Jalen Cropper or Deuce Vaughn. So I think not only is Jalen kind of competing with his other wide receivers, in which he's making wide receiver plays, he's competing with Deuce Vaughn for the return man stuff. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, the dudes that are going to make the team are the dudes that can do a whole bunch of shit for you. You know what I mean? And earlier, I just kind of mentioned this idea that wide receivers probably not going to run down 70 yards and tackle people anymore. So I'm at this point, Sky, to where Jalen Tolbert's clearly wide receiver 3 now. Like he hasn't had any slowdowns or any bad days. I would love to see him do it on the field too. You know what I'm saying? To carry that over, because he had a good camp last year too. Carry all that over to the field and we'll see. Jalen Brooks ain't having bad days neither. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Tolbert's just bona fide right now. So I think Brooks is safe. I think Turpin is safe because they say every year, hey, we got to get X player involved, right? Sure, let's just say that's Turpin this year. It seems like they have a plan to get Turpin involved. Now you have the draft pick security of Flournoy, the utility of Cropper, and you got like the veteran thing in Tyron Billy Johnson. And he's making plays also, but he's a veteran guy. Racing McMahon probably not going to be here. I imagine David Durden, they're probably going to do some type of
practice squad,
some type of gymnastics to keep him around, whether it be, hey, you're hurt guy, sit out, or just practice squad, whatever it is. So that's the dynamic that we're kind of dealing with. The hard part about wide receiver, though, Scott, and this is hilarious because it happens every single year. All these dudes look good when Forrest throwing the football, right? But when we get to a preseason game, Cooper Rush can't hit nobody. And, Trey Lance is having his days or whatever. But it's going to come down to who's the better receiver, I think. Like, who shows up and plays receiver better. And I think Cropper and Flournoy give you something different than everybody else. Because Flournoy does bona fide X receiver things, and Cropper does bona fide slot receiver things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of depends on how those dudes fit in and how they produce at that spot. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Tolbert is a move around guy. He plays everything. Jalen Brooks probably going to do a lot more X stuff, but I think draft pick security means something. I think playing teams means something. So I don't know how heavy they go at wide receiver, but think about this though, Scott. Voch says this, how long are we going to act like we're going to run the football this year? You know what I'm saying?
We tried that last year, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We run the ball 4 weeks and go, all right, Dak, please take over. And if this is going to be a thing where Dak takes over, would you want more receivers to kind of have a little bit of depth there? You know what I'm saying? Just in case if you're going to throw the ball 40 times a game. So I would love for us to carry 7 receivers, but it ain't realistic. You know what I'm saying? So,
I don't know last time they done that. 6 is pretty deep, what they usually do. Do you think they tap somebody on the shoulder and say, put you on IR?
I would love it if it was Flournoy.
That's what it feels like to now. Now he's back now, right? Like Flournoy's back. He's at practice. He missed a couple days or whatever. But he's got some catching up to do. because Jalen Moreno Cropper is ahead of him right now in regards to momentum. And, you said he brings something, Flournoy and Cropper brings something most of these other guys don't. Another thing that Cropper has going for him is that Dallas doesn't really have a slot guy.
A bona fide slot dude. Right.
And Lamb is your slot guy, but Lamb's going to be everywhere. But what if, there's no Randall Cobb here. There's no Cole Beasley here. I know Seth Wilson moved around, but he played a lot in the slot. Yep. And I know that Mike likes to have all these guys do a bunch of different things, but there's nothing wrong with a guy like Randall Cobb who can just dominate in the slot and be a viable guy. Not saying that Cropper's that guy, but what if, God forbid, something happened to one of your receivers? Mm-hmm. Who is that guy? I love Turpin's, gadget ability and Weapon X ability, but I don't think he's going to be your down in, down out slot guy. He'll be a guy. In fact, I don't even know if I would want to work him underneath that much unless it's a screen or get the ball in his hands right now. I want to work Turpin downfield. That speed is real. We've seen him kind of struggle 15 yards and then when corners or safeties or linebackers get their hands on him because he's small. But you get him in motion, you let him get a running start, and they're playing off. I'm sending him down the field. We need somebody that can shake loose and get separation, and Cropper has been doing that, time and again over the last week or so. Yep. So I think it's kind of now. It's like yesterday's price is not today's price. A couple days ago, I'm like, hey, Tyra Billy Johnson is the flavor of the month. Mm-hmm. Now it's Cropper. Cropper is the flavor quote of the month, but can he do enough to secure a roster spot where a wide receiver 5 or 6, you're not going to be on the field a whole lot. So can you do special teams things? And that's kind of, I'm guessing, where you're saying 2 return guys. Can Cropper be that other dude?